This is Hans. And Hans likes to run out, actually likes to jump on the door. He also likes to run out. Now there's another dog you hear barking, that's Bubba, his roommate. Now we have basically two people that had dogs separately. Now they're a couple now that we have a blended family. In this video I'm going to show you how you can get your dog to stay at a sit while it's at the door, with the door wide open. While we're doing this, can you reach in my bag and in the outside pocket there's a leash? Just go ahead and grab me any of the leashes in there. So basically, before I get to showing you the dog behavior trick, I want to talk a little bit, I think that'll work. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of rules and structure. It's one of the questions I ask all my dog behavior clients, and most people struggle to come up with any rules. And I define the rules, things the dog can do but doesn't do without permission, like run out a door with the doors open. So for dogs, they go through like probing to determine who's the leader and who's the follower. The leader's the ones that enforce rules. And dogs can't communicate verbally. They probe, and they're waiting and expecting another dog or an authority figure to say, that is how far you can go, that is where the line is. Then they're going to circle back around and try it again. Did they stop me at the same point? Dogs learn through repetition, consistency, and good timing. You have 3 seconds to correct or reward your dog for them to have the ability to make a connection. So as a dog, I'm going to probe here, oh, you correct me, here, you correct me. So I'm going to probe all the duration of the outline of whatever the boundary is. And then I'm going to try at different times of the day, different combinations. There might be something that allows me to cross that threshold. Now, if I don't have any rules, the dog very easily considers me to be an equal. If the dog considers you to be an equal, then listening to you is optional. And this is a scenario that I have for the vast majority of my clients. So I'm going to talk about a couple really briefly, I'm going to talk about a couple of rules, then I'm going to show you the door, which is one of my rules. One of the rules is I don't let the dogs in the furniture because the higher they sit, the more rank or status they have. If this is the couch and I'm sitting here, the dog's sitting here, we're sitting at the same height, so the dog sees us as peers or equals. So one of the rules I have is no furniture for 30 days or as long as the problem's going on. And then after that, furniture with an invitation, it's a one-time exception and it's only for good behavior. So if I invited Hans up here and started barking, he would have to get down. Another rule would be the humans eat before they feed the dog. Dogs eat in the order of their rank. That's an important one. If you're not going to eat a real meal, just grab a chip or cracker or something. You eat 5 small bites and give the dog permission to eat. The dog goes and sniffs his bowl and walks away. It probably means you're free feeding your dog. What I do is I pick up the bowl, I dump the food out, and I put the empty bowl back down. It's important to put the empty bowl back down on the floor and not up here. And then the dog comes back, and 99% of the time they lick the empty bowl. What happened? What happened to my food? Well, when you walk away, the consequence is the food goes away. If you put the whole bowl up, they think you took it away. He's hungry. But if you dump it and put it back down, they recognize the bowl's empty, the bowl's empty. Dogs spend 90% of their time in the wild looking for food. It is the most important activity. If you don't eat before you feed your dog doesn't see you as having any status with the most important activity. That will really lessen its respect for you as an authority figure. Also, I make a dog wait, and I go through the door first, in the hallway first, up the stairs first. For dogs who are in front is perceived to be the leader. Another rule that two other rules I have: I don't allow a dog in the kitchen when we're cooking food, or within 7 feet of a person who's eating food at the dinner table, at the couch, or wherever it is. And I use the escalating consequences I went off camera to enforce those. I've already demonstrated that, so you guys should know how to do that. If you have questions on it, make sure you message me. Now, one of the other rules I usually have is I make a dog sit before it goes through a door. Now, I go to the door and I say sit one time. If the dog doesn't sit within 3 seconds of me saying it the first time, I walk away and I sit down somewhere. To a dog, sitting is a more subordinate position, so you lose a little perceived authority. But sitting is also more of a permanent position where standing is transitory or temporary. So if I stand here going 48, 49, 50, he knows I'm waiting for him. So I go sit down, watch TV, grab my phone, grab a magazine, spend 60 seconds doing something else, ask Siri or somebody for a 60-second timer. At the end of 60 seconds, come back here and tell the dog, sit. If he doesn't sit, Hans, sit. Then I would open the door and let the dog out. If he didn't sit, I'll give you one for sitting because that was a good job. If he didn't sit, I would walk away and I would wait 1 minute, come back and give him the opportunity again. If he doesn't sit this time within 3 seconds, I walk away for 2 minutes, then for 4 minutes, and I keep on double the length of time till when I go to the door and say sit once, he sits. And this helps him understand that I'm not going to give a command multiple times. If he doesn't follow the command, he doesn't get the reward of being able to go outside. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to punish him. I'm not going to get upset. It's just he doesn't get what he wants. After a while, he'll go sit at the door and tell you as his way of saying, I'd like to go outside. Now, some people will put a little post-it note on the door to make it easy for them to remember. But after a while, you're gonna let your dog in and out of the door multiple times throughout the rest of its life. If you get in the habit of doing this, it'll just start sitting at the door as a way of asking. Right now, he jumps on the door. Well, anything a dog is doing when you give it attention or affection is what we're rewarding. So if he jumps on the door and we come up and we tell him not to do that, or we yell at him, or we let him in, we just told him that's the way to ring the doorbell. So this will help with that. Hans. I keep on thinking of Die Hard every time I say Hans. Come. All right, so let's say I go to the door, and let's say I've already achieved all this. I'm not going to show you this because that's pretty easy to understand. Hans, sit. 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 Remember, anytime you give a treat, say the command word after the treat goes into the dog's mouth. That'll help them look at the command word a little bit brighter. All right, so come back here, sit. I'm gonna keep this treat just as a motivator. Now, when I go to reach for the door, see how he got up? I wanna teach him what behavior I want from him throughout this activity. Sit. I'm breaking down individual steps. I'm just recreating the motion of reaching to the handle without any of the steps that follow it. Once I can go like this, and now I'm turning my hand, I'm grabbing it more and more realistically, but he's like, man, are we ever gonna go through the door? No, because this is the first step. All I want you to do is stay there as I reach for the handle. Now we also have a lock here. Usually that sound precedes the door opening, then it causes the dog to get up. He's doing a good job. If he were to get up, I would stop what I'm doing, command him to sit. If he sits within 3 seconds, I will continue. If he doesn't, I would drop the leash and walk away, wait a minute or longer, come back and repeat the process again. So once I can go like this, and he stays seated, then I click it back and forth if he stays seated. Then I would open it just a crack and close it. Sit. Now normally I would walk away, but we're doing a video, so I'm not going to walk away right here. Sit. And I back up a step, so I just go back to reaching. Normally, he's running through the open door, correct? So now this is just a brief microcosm. I can go out through this more and more, but you guys understand how to do it. Sit. Hey, we gotta wrap up this video. So the idea for this is don't do this when you're rushed. And if you have, since we have two dogs in the house, practice with one dog at a time until both dogs separately will just go to the door. You just go to the door, they sit automatically, you start reaching, and you can open it all the way, and they sit there and they look up at you. And I would wait for the dog to look up at you before you give it the command word to go outside. Now, how do you come up with a command word to go outside? And I use a leash just because eventually we're gonna have it open further and further. We don't want to run away, run out, that's a self-rewarding behavior. Now, let's say we got to the point where he was sitting and the door was wide open. I want to assign a command word that means to go out the door. Well, I have a treat here. Now, anytime a dog hears a treat, like I mentioned earlier, it should say the command word. I'm going to use the word vacation. Now, you can use any word you want, but try to come up with a fun word. Sit. Now, I'm going to keep him here because I have the treat in my hand. So if I want to assign the command word, I'm going to go like this and throw it outside. And as soon as he licks it up, I'm going to say vacation. Can I leave him out? He's been inside the whole time. So now we put in context, vacation means go through the door. So after a while, he sits here and he waits for me to say the word vacation. As soon as I vacation, he runs through there. Now, since we have two dogs, I would come up with a different command word with each dog. So that way it can be at the door and you can say vacation for one, holiday for the other one, or whatever the word is that you want to use. But now you can communicate and control your dog separately simply by assigning a command word. Now, throwing the treat out here, most of the time the dog wants to go out there anyways, but throwing the treat out, it allows us to assign the command word. Well, out there is Hans, over there behind the camera is Bubba, and these are tips and tricks you can use if you want to teach, well, first of all, the importance of rules, how they benefit a dog, how to enforce them, as well as how to get your dog to sit and wait for permission to run through an open door.